What is up? This is your LA in a minute, and I'm here not to talk about the park itself, but because I heard in 1863 there was a curse put on this land. Now, it's undeniable that there's been some serious misfortune to take place at Griffith Park in the last 159 years, but is it really a curse? Let's look into it. First, some background. For thousands of years, the land belonged to the native Gabrielino or Tongva people. In 1776, Spanish explorer Juan Bautista de Anza led a group of conquerors on a journey from Mexico to what would become San Francisco, which led them to pass through and camp in what is now Griffith Park. The Gabrielino Tongva people showed these explorers where to find potable water, and they were subsequently enslaved to build the San Fernando mission, which in my mind would be curse enough, but that's not the actual curse. In 1787, one of the soldiers in de Anza's caravan, Jose Vicente Feliz, was granted over 6,000 acres from the Spanish government. This parcel of land was turned into ranch land for Feliz's family, and he called the land Rancho Feliz. Jose Feliz's son, Don Antonio Feliz, inherited the ranch in 1816 and lived there with his niece Petronilla until he was on his deathbed in 1863. While on his deathbed, he was tricked into signing over the Rancho Feliz land to a local politician named Antonio Coronel. When Petronilla learned what happened, she cursed Coronel and the land that he'd stolen. Coronel was actually shook by the curse, and he ended up giving his share of the land to his lawyer, who died of a gunshot wound shortly thereafter. The property was sold to a man named Leon Lucky Baldwin, who worked on the land but found that his cattle grew sick and his crops were struck with blight. Running out of money, Baldwin sold the land to the man who would become the park's namesake, Griffith J. Griffith. Griffith wanted to raise ostriches on the land. However, that didn't work out, and he shut down the ranch just 4 years later. In 1896, Griffith donated the cursed land to the city of Los Angeles. The curse may have lived on with the Griffith family, however, as in 1903, he shot his wife Tina in the face. She did live, and Griffith did serve a whole 2 years in jail. Once in public hands, the curse receded for a while, but in 1933, 29 civilian Conservation Corps workers died in a wildfire. The curse continued in 1976 with the death of a young couple who were crushed by a falling tree while making love on a picnic table. In 2012, a severed head was found on one of the park's hiking trails. In 2016, hikers found a human skull partially buried, and investigators determined that the skull had been in the park for at least a year. In 2019, park rangers found human remains wrapped in a blanket behind some brush. To this day, many hikers and park visitors swear they've encountered ghosts of those who have died in the park late at night. Whether it's all part of Petronilla Feliz's curse or a long series of unfortunate events, the park remains a place of mystery. But odds are you'll never see Griffith Park the same way again. All right, LA, it's been a minute.